like I had the lotto. I'm coming through like 100 doing this 1 or 2s. You don't know if the smoke from the gun I told, from the blunt I blew. Got them sick as the flu, cause this she be humming too. Got your chicken in here and she think it's the tension in here. When the enemy near, what the you wanna do? I'm a G.
Yo, what is the deal? Welcome to the No Pick Show, where there's no hand holding, we do a fashion, not emotion. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification if you haven't already. Here with my dog L. How's everything going, brother?
Man, good, bro. I was taking a day of doing some last little bit. I got a week left of school, dog, and then I'm done. So I'm finishing up the last little bit of school work. I was off social media and whatnot, tapped in for like an hour. Shit started to explode. You heard me? So I'm excited, dog. Excited.
Yeah, so I guess mainly talking about the Zion jump shot videos, and I know Fierce had some content out working with Kevin Durant here. But to me, one of the more exciting happenings of today, and shout out to everybody, make sure y'all hit that like button, was this video. And I guess it all depends on how you want to interpret it.
I'm not expecting extension for Tyler Hero either, or really Michael Porter Jr. I think of the guys listed below, I'm really only expecting a contract extension for Steph Curry. I'm not expecting there to be any Steph Curry trade sweepstakes like we've been asked about for weeks now, ever since LeBron spurned Golden State and chose Philadelphia.
Shout out to my Bleacher Report partner, Jake Fisher, Shaq Zilla, what's happening? Nola Ant, what's happening? Whoa, Hippie Nation, Ryan in the building. Say MPJ is all we care about. F any other move, even Sabonis over MPJ. Whoa, what is happening? Shy, what's it there? Say you went live at this exact time for a reason, huh? Well, I don't. What's the correlation? I might be sleeping. I might be sleeping. Somebody else live? Whoa, what's happening with your paper, boy? What's the deal, bro? Hey, we gonna talk about it. So here's the interesting thing. What's happening with your E-Dog? What's up, Talking for Life? What's the deal, man? I hope y'all doing well. So here's the issue. Right now, Michael Porter Jr., who I might consider top 3 most honest NBA players in the league. Right? You want to talk about a person that just like I don't give a fuck. Like this, how I feel. Like this, I'm authentically myself.
Yeah, 100%. That boy be.
Y'all saw that just now?
Yeah, that been freezing up a little bit.
Whoa, most hated. Yeah, I don't know what happened just now. I hope we ain't got to start this bitch over or nothing. But so top 3, probably the most honest player in the NBA. He's been extension eligible for the entirety of the summer, right? Been extension eligible for the entirety of the summer. Hasn't come to an extension. I was under the presumption that the Nets would look to acquire more talent, like a Peyton Watson, something along those lines, and try to be a bit more competitive. But after seeing what's happening in the East and how much of a dog fight it is in the East right now, they might just be like, all right, we cool. Julius Randle, who they acquired via trade, he's soon to be expiring. Michael Porter Jr. is expiring. And going into next offseason, there's a possibility, if they maximize this, and that means, you know, removing the cap holes and things of that nature, if they maximize this, they can get close to $80 million. And that's turning down every team option, player options being turned down, everything. They can get to about, pardon me, they can get to about 80 million. If Julius Randle decides not to, he can, if I was him, I wouldn't, but they could get to close to $50 million. Now, $50 million ain't exactly the same as it used to be, because back in the day, $50 million, that's 2 great players. Like, but ultimately, the best player you're going to be able to find on the market, I'd imagine, next season, if you're the Nets, it's probably Michael Porter Jr. Right? So, what do you see things right now with Michael Porter Jr., and should the Pelicans be interested in the gentleman like this?
Should the Pelicans be interested? Absolutely. I think the issue that the Nets are having is, I think they can acquire players, right?
Right.
But I think the players that like Michael, for example, Peyton Watson, because Michael Porter Jr. has been advocating for bringing Peyton Watson. But the issue is, in order to sign Peyton, you'd have to give up stuff. You got to trade picks. Like, it just don't make sense for them to try and do that. You can't just sign Peyton Watson into space. most of the players that are available, you can't sign into space. The problem that they have is their team is hella young. Like they took five. They got a lot of young players, and then bro, you just took Mikel Brown, number 6 overall. Igor Denim, however you pronounce it, was last year's pick, and then they showing some promise, but you know they not ready yet.
They're not ready.
So no. So why would I pay? Like, why would I pay Michael Porter Jr. or why would I bring in damn near anybody else when I could just go back into asset acquisition mode? To be honest, you know you're not about to compete. Yeah. So just from the Brooklyn standpoint, and why would it make sense for them to pay Michael Porter Jr. $45 million? It's like, bro, I'm gonna pay you and Julius Randle, and like I know that's not enough, especially with the East now, like you said earlier. That's nowhere near enough to like compete. You probably talking about lottery team for the next, even with they won 20 games. You talk about with us, they won 20 games with MPJ. So
they actively tanked though. Like
they did actively tank.
They shut MPJ down.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like they still were like not, even when they were trying to win early in the season. It's not like they just had some fucking great runway or whatever. So if I was them, I'd be trying to maximize MPJ as well, right? I think that's why you trade for a player like MPJ.
Shout out to everybody in the building. Lonnie, I see you, homie. Sir Charles, what's the deal, man? Welcome aboard, fella. Squallow, what's happening? And look, MPJ, you know, there are some New Orleans ties there. His dad played at University of New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? So he's a local, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure he got love for the city somewhere. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Squallow funny, dog.
I think one of the big questions would be with MPJ is like, yo, would you even be willing to come to New Orleans, like in that event? Because, like I say, MPJ, he's from Indiana. His dad played in New Orleans, but he strikes me as more of a, you know, a cool guy. Like you know, he want to be in LA, and I don't mean Louisiana.
Well, let me say this: he did all those years in Denver. Like
Denver, not New Orleans.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like he did. Denver ain't just like the coolest place to be. It ain't. As far as like comparing it to LA or New York or something like that, like you spent most of your career in Denver. And I just think as far as like, would you come? I think it boils down to, you gonna pay me my money?
See, and that's kind of where I have the question, right? Because I don't know. Now, of course, it would have to be a situation where an extension is agreed upon before he's ultimately traded. 100%. I still think Brooklyn has a lot of leverage in the situation because of the bird rights, because ultimately they don't necessarily have to trade him, because if he was a free agent and the Pelicans had $40 million to give him, he probably wouldn't sign with the Pelicans.
No.
So like that's why it's like and most teams and a lot of teams won't have cap space to sign him necessarily. So that's another thing.
I'm sorry, a similar situation to the Wizards, right? If Trae Young is a free agent, I don't think Trae Young chooses to go to the Wizards. Not only that, they don't have the free. I don't think they would have had the money to offer Trae Young like they did. Similarly with Anthony Davis, you can't even build that team. You can't, if both of those dudes was on free agency, like free agents, neither one of them would have
declined this option. It's because I know I could get more money. Whereas, you know, Michael Porter Jr. would just be unrestricted. Going into some of his numbers, last year played 52 games. Of course, they shut him down, so he probably would have played like 60 plus. 52 games, averaged 24, 7, and 3. One steal a game, only 2 turnovers.
He shot 9 threes a game, though.
9 threes a game, 36% from beyond the arc. Career, I'm gonna just call it 40. Career 40% shooter from 3.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Yeah, he's
seven rebounds a game. Legitimate 6'10".
Yeah, like, and this is like we got the this ain't even like peak Michael Porter Jr. Honestly, like, of course, he's had all the back issues and things of that nature. I'm sure he's been able to circumvent that. And
that's third option Michael Porter Jr. as well.
Yeah, like in Brooklyn, I guess he would have been considered number one, but even as a third option, he excelled. Of course, Denver, in their cap situation, they was like, well, we ain't gonna be able to do this, and maybe he wanted a higher role on the totem pole. I think
just financially they couldn't continue to do it because they would have been even in an even worse situation.
Even worse situation. I think it's an interesting situation for us if you're the Pelicans, because to me it checks really every box as far as like shooting, rebounding. He's not necessarily a slashing wing, but he can get to the rim, finish at the rim. Legit big bodied guy, Pauls. Not the best defender, but fuck, who is? He's an awesome offensive player, and I think that's what ultimately matters the most. So let's
know what? Hold on, I'm sorry. Now you know what box it checks the most?
What's that?
We want it. It's the signal. We want to compete, and we want to try to win.
Yeah,
like that's the major box that it checks. Also, it like heightens the support of some of the other moves you make. It kind of like cleans up some of the other stuff that you've done.
Depending on who you're sending out.
so not even just that. Before we even talk about who you're sending out, right? Like Michael Porter Jr., we don't even know who he sends out yet, but we know he's like a for sure starter, right?
Yeah.
If you Zion's not going, because they've already said Zion will be back, right? Unless it's Trey, but let's just assume that Trey's here. If you have Trey, Z, MPJ, he works with DeJounte, he works with Fears, he just makes your lineups, whoever else you play around and work. You could play Eves and it'll work. You could play Queen and it'll work a little bit more because you have a spacing, like enough shooting as well. It just is one of the moves to me that I just think really maximizes everybody else on the roster, and it allows you to say, well, fuck, we could really shop almost anybody else at this point as well. So that's the big the big like kicker.
So where it gets interesting now, of course, if MPJ is like, you got my money, I'll extend, right? Now, if it's as simple as that, I think something along the lines of like 3 years, 124, 126 is more than reasonable. See that. 38, 40, 42, something like that. Even if you want to start at 40, 42, 44, something like that, because he's 28 years old. He would be head and shoulders your second best player at this point, and he fits multiple needs. Now I do a 2-1. Also give him the opportunity if he wanted to get, if he say fuck, I'll do 2 years and then I'm ready to try and hit the market again. Yeah, I'll do that as well, because that will probably be the last time he gets a big contract.
Big deal.
Right?
Yep.
So now you talk about what would a trade of that magnitude look like? What would Brooklyn be looking for? So my understanding, they're looking to maximize their salary flexibility, right?
Yeah.
So you could, in theory, right, offer like in theory, because where's DeJounte? I'm sorry, where's
Poole?
No, not Poole. MPJ's salary this year, he's at 40 million
even.
Cool, 40 million. So in theory, right, if there was an understanding between, shout out to the homie Dev in the building, man. Shout out to the homie. If there was in theory an agreement between DeJounte and Brooklyn to where like, if I go there, I'm going to opt out for a longer term deal. I'll mentor Brown or what have you, right?
Yeah.
Which is a possibility.
Yep.
But do I see it happening? Maybe not. But it's a possibility. Now what seems a bit more likely is Jordan Poole, who's at what, 34 million, put in now it's like, okay, Jordan Poole, that's the lion's share of the salary. But now we're talking about Jordan Poole and what? Jordan Poole and what to make up the rest of that salary. I have an idea, but it would be
let's start with the first idea.
I want to say I want to say this last thing.
Ooh, yeah, no,
Jordan
you
Poole,
good, bro.
No, Michael Porter Jr. and Herb Jones also share the same agent.
Okay.
Mark Bartelstein. Right?
Okay.
And remember, the Pelicans just gave Herb Jones that terrible extension. So I'm sure Mark and Troy them have some relationship there, to where there's some goodwill there. And also, to my understanding, agents typically don't like their clients traded for one another. So that's another thing. But what's your thoughts on a potential trade package?
So the thought initially is, first, I'd have to offer DeJounte first. Like DeJounte, some package of DeJounte and Herb, like some combination of that first, right? Because I think if worse comes to worse, and you do trade for MPJ, obviously you want to give them the extension. But if for whatever reason he's like, look, I'll come there for a year, but we'll just allow this move to be the move that frees up your books. You know what I mean? And he walks, I wouldn't want to do that, but then it works because now you have MPJ for the year. Like, hey, look, I'll go, but I don't really want to stay. I'll figure it out. And then, you could kind of, I think a deal within $6 million still works, right? Or is that too much of a gap in the trade? Because I think
but at that point, you gotta start clearing the spots and salary at that point.
Well, because they definitely would have to figure something out from a roster standpoint, or maybe they send somebody back to kind of close that gap. But my only thought would be initially just face value. I start there. If they say no to that, I'd be willing to offer a pick to incentivize that, to be honest.
So what's your potential package in this scenario?
So like if it's those two, it would be DeJounte, Herb, and a protected first. That feel like a lot for Michael Porter Jr., but the way I
include something for salary purposes,
like Noah Clowney, I would do Noah Clowney. Like he $5 million power forward. If you did that and you brought back Michael Porter Jr. and Noah Clowney, I think it helps. And then if that were to, because at that point now I have Noah Clowney's a restricted free agent. Michael Porter Jr. is a complete free agent. I've cleared the Herb contract. DeJounte is no longer a thing. I also made an opportunity for Fears to start. So if you could do that deal, that would be the first deal I swung for. And I would be willing to include a protected pick. I wouldn't give up the 27 pick. It would have to be like the 2030. You know what I mean? Like
in the event that he said, I won't resign if you trade for me, would you still be willing, or like, I may not resign if you trade for me, would you still be willing to include that pick?
Like if he said I won't or I may
not. There's a world where I'm not resigning. Like, if you don't, as a matter of fact, if you don't, because from what I'm told, he's asking for, close to the max, near max. I don't think he's going to get that from anyone. But let's say he settles in like, all right, man, give me 40. I'll take it. Right? So in this world, let's say this is the trade and it's successful. The DeJounte Murray, Herb Jones, and Michael Porter Jr., Noah Clowney, and they add let's say a lightly protected first for their troubles, or even if it's unprotected first for their troubles, and the Pelicans save about $1.5 million, address two positions of need in shooting and at the in the front court.
Ooh, I honestly, if he said I may, I still take my chances because I maximized this year. I think I'm gonna get the best version of him because he's still trying to get paid. He can't play like dog shit and go get money. You know what I'm saying? So he's never
played bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not of the concern of is he gonna ball out or not? So I'm not overly worried about that. I think if I got off of the DeJounte and Herb Jones, like if I told you today it was gonna cost you a pick to get off one pick to get off both DeJounte and Herb Jones' future money, would you be willing to pay it? What would be your answer to that?
Well, here's where the problem comes in, right? Because if I'm Brooklyn, I'm like, why the fuck would I take back all this salary? and I got a guy, worst case scenario, he's going to be gone anyway. And I'm not trying to be good necessarily. So I think, and I'll shout out to everybody a bit and make sure y'all hit that like button. So depending on if I'm Brooklyn, I would probably need a first for taking on DeJounte. And let's call Herb and Michael Porter Jr. close to a wash. They aren't, but let's call them close to a wash.
Yeah, from a value standpoint.
Yeah, I would need at least a first and a swap from the Pelicans because I'm taking on potentially 30, but I'm taking on close to $50 million next year.
If he guaranteed to re-sign, I'd do that.
A first and a swap. I'm just trying to figure out what would incentivize Brooklyn to do it. Because if I'm Brooklyn, I'm sorry, if I'm aside from the picks, if I'm Brooklyn, I kind of feel the same way as the Pelicans as far as with Jordan Poole. I'm like, if I would only trade an expiring player, unless there was like a super just malcontent player, like I would only trade an expiring player for other expiring money. Or to address a position of need that I absolutely need to address moving forward. I don't know for this particular framework. I don't know if they'd say yes to that. Now I think this might be one of the best deals you could get for Michael Porter Jr. Though, to be honest.
That's also where I'm at too. Like as far as because again, you have every incentive to reroute DeJounte. And take because if you did this deal and let's say you got a pick, right? You could reroute DeJounte and her for whatever. It don't really matter. And then you could really max out on what you're doing.
They're notorious for doing that also. Like they just did it with Cam Johnson, literally traded for Michael Porter Jr., Mikal Bridges. They're Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith, like they're notorious for doing these things. Just traded Claxton and got back Julius Randle. Julius Randle has a player option next year. So with him, they'll have, in theory, they would have him and DeJounte as expirings next year. And
if you had
draft capital.
Imagine if let's say you make that deal, right? You can play DeJounte. It don't matter. Or because now you look at it and say, okay, for Michael Porter Jr., I got, let's say it is a pick, a lightly protected pick and a swap, whatever. Okay. Now I turn around and I send DeJounte for another, maybe it don't really matter. I can send DeJounte for seconds or another protected first. I could let Herb go to whoever Herb won't go to. For whatever the package is, and now I've turned Michael Porter Jr. into what 3 or 4, you know what I mean? 3 or 4 potential picks, and then
etc.
Yeah, and I'm still not on the set. Like I'm still back in the same situation that I was in because I wasn't going to extend him anyway.
Now, this works as a 1-for-1, but if you're the Pelicans, you still got to consolidate. Like you still have too many players, right?
What you mean? If you did what?
If this is a new trade. So if this was
Jordan Poole
for Michael Porter Jr., let's just say Jordan Poole and the Pelicans gave a pick, or let's just say a pick, right? For Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr., of course, he agrees to extend with the Pelicans, right? I think if I'm the Pelicans, I would have to. You also got to take Herb, or like you have to take Herb because again, I need minutes at the wing so everyone can play, and I gotta consolidate because after this deal, I'm still at fucking 14 players. Like you know what I'm saying?
Would you make them do that, or would you just sell Herb for what? Like you could just. I just need come on, Lively. Go ahead and give me Lively.
I'm a little too worried. Not, I would love to get off of the Herb contract. I would at least need to see Lively play at some point though.
Okay, you ain't that like
No,
worried about getting off the Herb deal the way you would take Lively.
I am, but I think I could probably find somebody. I could probably find somebody even better that I can move Herb for, who actually like alive. Cause I don't got proof of life of Lively right now. Well, but if it was something along the lines of like, let's just say hypothetically, it had to be Poole and it have to be Herb because like you have to clear minutes at the wing. So if it was Poole and Herb again for Michael Porter Jr. and shit, you probably could still just do that. Poole and Herb for Michael Porter Jr.
I think so. That's what I'm saying. I think it makes like right around 4. It's like 40 something.
Yeah.
It's 48 million, 46 million, something like that. It makes.
It would put them at 48. Now Brooklyn would take an $8 million cap hit on that. They don't have to do that. I mean, if you wanted to do this deal today, you could easily just add Hawkins to kind of make it all work out.
That was my initial thought. Like you could do Poole and Hawkins.
I'm sorry, not
like
Hawkins.
That.
You could easily add what's the dude? Clowney. You could add Clowney to kind of balance it out. And if you're the Pelicans, you get another front court player that you would desperately you kind of desperately need.
Yeah, so, I would be willing to pay a pick in the swap for that also.
Yeah.
And we ain't even really talking about like because if the deal got made, we hadn't even really got to like how competitive that makes you. We still talking about like fundamentally, structurally, how much cleaner it makes your rotation, like it just makes everything from your book standpoint, in my opinion, look a little bit better if you could remove the Herb, because again, like if you brought in Clowney, he's a restricted free agent. You ain't gotta do nothing with do nothing with that. Michael Porter Jr. If that deal was like DeJounte and Herb for Michael Porter Jr.
That would be ideal.
That's what I'm saying.
Money out,
yeah, and even if he say, "Hey, I'm not resigning," then it's kind of like cool because now I got
DeJounte and Herb.
Off the contract. Yeah. So like it just from again, then you cleared up a roster spot. You fears it's like, okay, I'm starting. You got another starting true like 4-man, a guy that can play the 4 to it, like new NBA 4-man. I just think like Michael Porter Jr., we hadn't even talked about the basketball aspect of it, but just from a business standpoint, even if you have to give him an extension, like let's say you had to give him an extension and it was like in the 40s, right? One, he had never been bad, but two, it would kind of put you in a position to where I would feel as if my money was spent on a player that we know what he's going to be moving forward. Like I'm not like Poole and I like Poole. People like, I don't know what Poole gonna show up. I don't know what Herb gonna show up. You don't know. I know what the fuck Michael Porter Jr. gonna be for my money. That's what you pay. You pay for the security of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, and look, I agree with you. I think even with DeJounte, because at this point you have no guarantee that he's gonna opt out.
Nope.
But if it was a situation where it was those two for Michael Porter Jr., I think it would be worth including a first in the swap just to clear that money off. Like, because especially if Michael Porter Jr. agrees to extend, because you probably get that first back, maybe you get the swap back, and you probably not gonna be bad anyway, because it ain't like those two in recent history have helped you win. So I think it would be, I would be a bit more, even though it would work better, I would be a little more hesitant if it was like Poole and Herb, because again, I don't want to trade expiring money, in that situation, just because I'm like, well, fuck, I still got to deal with the DeJounte thing. Like,
solve all my issues.
Yeah, and like, whereas the 34 million, it don't fall off the books necessarily, but I would have cleared some salary. It gave myself some more cap space. Now I'm about to add 38 and 40 back on the books.
Yeah.
So all I really did was clear 20. I traded 20 million in Herb for 40 million in MPJ.
I will say this: if you ended up, let's say you did end up having to do like Poole and Hawkins for MPJ or something like that, or even if it was Poole straight up, right?
Yeah.
And y'all better be like you. There's no excuse to not be good.
Right.
Like that's a like if your starting lineup is DeJounte, Trey, Zion, Herb, Eves, and then your bench has fucking Herb Jones, Sadiq Bey, Fears, Queen, Bryce, Carlo, like y'all, like the inflation of guaranteed and like how Michael Porter Jr. can play both lines, like the influx of shooting, volume shooting, high quality, like there will be no excuse to not make the playoffs at that point. So at least you could turn around and say you would be able to sell it. Like if you had to make said deal, right? If you had to make said deal and it didn't work out, you just don't have to extend Michael Porter Jr. So you still fine.
But you are out of it first.
But you probably have to make the deal, but it would give everybody the best opportunity to do what it is that you said you wanted to do anyway. So it might be the one move that aligns most with all of your publicly stated goals, in my opinion.
Shout out to everybody in the building, man. We got like 60-something people in the building. We got 34 likes. Make sure y'all hit the like button, man. Let's get it up to at least 50 likes. Appreciate everybody tapping in. To Ron's point, what would be the benefit of the Nets sending us MPJ without a pick? True indeed.
I have a response to that actually.
Go ahead.
So my thought is, if they move MPJ, and let's say it's for Poole, right? Mm-hmm. Hypothetically, just expiring, how much better does that make them? Probably not that much better, right?
I don't think it makes them better at all.
Exactly.
Right.
So, but if you did Poole for DeJounte and Herb, in theory, it makes you better, right? Like not good enough to be good, right? Like not good enough to be good. But the issue is you don't want to be bottom 3 moving forward.
Yeah. I think
you got the asset. I'm saying you got the flip of the asset avenue that they could take as well.
It certainly gives you some experience at the point guard because you got is it Malik over there?
Mikel, Michael, Mikel, yeah, Mikel, Mikel.
Yeah, you got Mikel over there. You got Igor Adenim. Like you got a lot of guys, that are on ball. So it's certainly that perspective you could take. I don't know if like Herb and DeJounte at this stage compared or like equal one Michael Porter Jr. necessarily, especially with the premium on 3-point shooting being what it is. I think the only like truly, and this probably will receive some pushback. And I'm telling you, if they did this, the fan base would they'd get fried. I wouldn't give a fuck because it is what it is. But if I can save a first round pick, it was like I will give you Poole and Derek Queen for MPJ, but I saved the first round pick. Would you do that, or do you think the investment in Derek Queen is too great to sacrifice that at this point?
I would say,
Chief.
I would say this. No, if you for sure was re-signing Michael Porter Jr. Like let's say you do that deal and Michael Porter, like you can't do that and Michael Porter Jr. leave. But like if you did that and Michael Porter Jr. is here for show stand, I think you could, because that's how you get better, right? Like you see rookies moved for good players all the time. Again, I think Buddy Hield was a second-year player when they traded him for Cousins.
I thought he was a rookie. He wasn't a rookie when they traded?
I think it was it might have been his second year.
Oh, it might have been second year. Okay.
It might, like, I think it might have been his rookie. I don't think it was his rookie year, maybe. But you see the young players traded for these kinds of players all the time, especially when your goals are to win, right? Like, again, it's a little different, but bro, respectfully, I think if you said I traded, let's say Michael Porter Jr. was still with Denver. How many picks you think it would have took you to get Michael Porter Jr. from Denver?
If you're the Pelicans,
Probably the same amount of picks
well,
for DQ.
well, you know what? Probably not, because like with the Cam Johnson deal, if I'm not mistaken, the Nets got a first because Denver.
Well, they didn't want to pay the. They didn't want to pay the
They
money.
didn't want to pay him, and they tried to clear salary. So if you were the Pelicans, you probably could have got him for a decent exchange, but also take into account that he knew Michael Porter Jr. is such an interesting personality that it's like he could have been like, oh man, I ain't fucking playing here. Like he's the type of person that would come out and say some shit like that. Like if I was y'all, I wouldn't trade for me. So
He might.
So that's like one of the issues. Now
He
another
has
thing,
to do it.
you gotta show me.
You gotta
Like,
do
you
it.
gotta tell me. Like, cause another thing is today you couldn't get like I know in theory you have a 3-pick investment in Derrick Queen, right? Pick 8, the pick you ultimately traded the move, and the pick you ultimately drafted him with. That's like a 3-pick investment, kind of like the Mark Ingram thing. But today, it's not worth 3 picks no more. Like today is probably worth 1 first.
Yeah.
Right. So if you view it through that lens, like, yeah, I fucked off those picks, but today this is the price of the trade in. So I'm gonna trade it in and get this. I think it will be met with immense backlash from everyone
until that
everyone.
motherfucker
Until he ball out.
Until that motherfucker shooting 10 threes a game, making 4 or 5 of them, and then it's like DQ. Respectfully, you just can't. Like, at what point? At what point would he be able to do that?
Yeah,
like, at what point would he do that? Then imagine. Again, we just saw, shout out to Trey. We just saw Trey hooping with MPJ at the what you call it runs.
MPJ was there?
Yeah, MPJ was hooping at the the player union runs or whatever. United player runs, I think that's what it's called. So it's like you would also get a guy, while MPJ is a character to a degree. New Orleans loves characters. To be honest.
But he might not love New Orleans, and that, because to me that's the issue. It's like these are independent contractors at the end of the day, and it's 30 teams in the NBA. It's not like wrestling, it's like 2 fucking companies you really could go to. But in the NBA, you could go to 29 other companies. So
man,
like,
you in this bitch for 6 months. Do your job and then go live wherever you want to live.
Yeah, but them niggas don't even want to hear that shit. And look, and then like in the event, I don't know if shout out to talking about like he's a Trey and MPJ are good friends. Now that might work against you the way things currently stand, right? Unless he's saying Trey Young, but if he's talking about Trey Murphy, that may work against you the way, as you know, where things currently stand. Unless
it work for you.
Unless Trey is like, nah, man, if you get it's gonna we need somebody like you, man. Come on aboard. But I it's potential.
Imagine it could work, because again, AD was all like, for example, if you go back to the Cousins trade, AD was on the fence, and when they brought DeMarcus in, AD was like, shit, this ain't bad. Like, you brought DeMarcus.
Trey Young.
Okay, yeah, but they brought DeMarcus in, they brought Rondo in. It was like, you know what, this could work. Like, this could work.
I thought about phone blowing up a little bit. I thought about the situation with AD. I'm sorry, with Boogie as well, and it was like, well, Boogie from Alabama, like Boogie, a good Southern country guy, like, you know what I'm saying. Whereas MPJ again, he's from Indiana. I don't know where he was raised at necessarily. I don't think he's from Gary, Indiana. I think he's from like Indianapolis, Indiana, maybe. So. I just don't know if but here's the thing. That's a Midwest town, and I'm sure Joe Dumas has seen him coming up, being another Midwest guy as well. So there's a possibility they'll again dad play for UNO. I just think.
Here's another thought. Go ahead.
I would just hope if he was open to doing it. I think you push the button if he's open to doing it, right? whether it's queen or a first. But
Yes.
you still have to send out players and consolidate in the event that you bring them on, because this is a 35-minute guy.
Yeah, 100%.
Like this, he's going to be playing.
Yeah, no, he's
35 minutes.
arguably his second best player.
Yeah, he's probably going to be the second in minutes after him and Trey. Him and Trey probably going to lead the team in minutes, I would imagine. So, what's your thought?
Well,
he grew up in Columbia, Missouri. Okay.
Another thought is kind of like if you MPJ been getting a little backlash also for like the shit he been saying off camera.
Yeah.
all
on
season.
Stream. Yeah.
On the stream. That's what I mean. Like all last season. You know what that shit'll probably nobody will care. Yeah. Also, if you get your money, it's kind of like New Orleans, dog, like Brooklyn not gonna hold you down like New Orleans gonna hold you down if you balling. Like, dog, Herb Jones got a day. Like Herb Jones got a day.
Yeah.
If Michael Porter, you can trade almost anybody but Fizz, and then like I think it'll be
accepted.
It'll be accepted, to be honest, for a player like Michael Porter Jr. Also, if you were to go into the offseason and you had $100 million, you couldn't get a Michael Porter Jr.
That's true. I think just with the player control in today's age, and I'm curious to know what his agent would say as well. I think if he's open to coming to New Orleans, I think you do the deal, especially if it'll only cost you one first. Or DQ. Yes. I think you push the button in that scenario. Like, shout out to Elijah. He said, what does push the button mean? What is y'all's absolute limit for MPJ? My absolute limit is
Fierce.
I meant like the most I'm willing to give up.
Oh, okay,
I'm not trading.
Okay.
I wouldn't trade Trey.
No. I'm not doing that either.
Yeah, my absolute limit would be 2 of the 3 in Poole, DeJounte, and Herb, preferably DeJounte and Herb, and 1 first or Queen. That would be my limit. 1 first or Derek Queen.
If it cost you, again, at the deal we talked about earlier, if it cost you DeJounte, Herb, and then a pick and a swap, like an unprotected pick and a swap, you do it?
Like, I'd do that. I'd do it.
Okay. I just think Michael, like what I think of Michael Porter Jr.
Probably not unprotected. Let me go back.
Let's say top 10 protected.
It gotta be top 10 protected.
Let's say top 10 protected pick. Okay. I do it. Because my thought is, if Michael Porter Jr. and the reason we talk, I know people keep saying, is he available? The reason he's available,
but I don't know if we're interested just yet.
Yeah, the reason we're asking even if he's available is because they're essentially the Nets aren't like, it seems like they're not going to be able to work out an extension. If you can't work out the extension, you just gotta. Well, what's good, bro? If you can't work out the extension, you gotta figure out an opportunity. And I just think, dog, you talk about salvaging the motherfucking summer. Like that's another thing too. You want to win the press conference, and you want to win the deal. You want to get people back on your side. Go trade it again. If you paired Zion, Trey, and Fizz with Michael Porter Jr., almost any combination of anybody else, I think you could send out. And then because what you'll do, you'll have people to view, okay, so you really believe in Fizz. We didn't figure out the path for Fizz moving forward. We done finally got Zion real shooting. Also, it'll let you judge Zion. Like, you ain't never had this elite level of
ideal situation.
Yeah, like if you can't make the playoffs with this, I don't really know. Like, you still would have Eves and some other pieces, so you wouldn't necessarily gut the team, though.
Yeah, I think, and honestly, I still don't think MPJ is viewed as a positive asset. I think he's a neutral asset at this point.
Yeah,
because because he is aspiring, and you do got to extend him. And some people might be off put by his personality. Personally, I think he's a funny guy. I like his personality.
Here's another thought too. Before you continue, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
How many teams, right? How many teams we'd have to look, but how many teams have 40 million of tradables, trying to compete?
Long-term, salary.
You get what I'm saying? So like you think about the teams that might want a Michael Porter Jr. probably like, let's say teams that's trying to compete. Right. Well, none of those teams have 40 million in salary that they just really trying to move, right? Unless they're gonna sign and trade during.
You know what I just thought about? Who could get him? I could see Boston getting him.
What they gonna do? Who they gonna send?
I can see trading. Well, Paul George is expiring next year, right? So
that's 50. He make 54 million.
I can see them sending him out, taking back some salary and just giving up the first that they got in Jaylen Brown's deal. Because originally, one of the thoughts were that they would repackage those first that they got back in the Jaylen Brown deal and some of their own first and pursue Trey Murphy.
Yeah.
So there's
you think they wanna pay again? I think they're paying
40 is less than 50 and 60.
But that's 50 something that's falling off the books. So that's not like Paul George is 50 something that fall off, as opposed to like you Boston with 56 million that fall off. It's a nice little piece.
I would have to see exactly what their tax situation would be, because
I think they're out of the second apron. I think they're not even close to
normally it. When those guys fall off, right, you don't, of course you don't get all that money in tax space. Like, you know what I'm saying? You still like sometimes it might. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't get that in cap space necessarily. You'll get sometimes you'll get a tax break, and if you remove the cap hole, maybe you get like an extra few $1 million.
Yeah, you get some relief basically.
Yeah, you get some relief. So it ain't like they'll have the whole 50 million to use necessarily. Whereas, like, I can see a couple other teams sniffing around that situation. I just think about teams that have big money on short-term deals and first-round picks. Shit, even I don't think this would happen, but shit, even if you Minnesota, like, you know what I'm saying, you're a team that already has a relationship with Brooklyn. You could get to the money, like you could
gonna send Jaden. I don't think they sending Jaden.
I can see them not doing that, but shit, you could send Gobert, send one other player, and that'll be a hell of a motherfucking unit there. So
what you call it starting at the full?
Who that?
No, I'm just saying you have LaMelo and
at the 5.
Jared Barringer at the 5.
There's a number of ways
you could probably win with that lineup.
If you're willing to spend the draft capital, there's a number of ways you can put it together. I still think the Pelicans.
That's another reason you got to do it, though.
The problem with the Pelicans always comes down to the same thing. With the names you throwing out, like with the names we throwing out for his Poole, DeJounte, Herb, all of them distressed assets, right? All of them distressed assets at this stage. Poole probably the most positive one because he's about to fall off the books.
Yeah.
Right. So it's interesting, but I think you at least should call and see the price of doing business.
I just think even if they're distressed assets, I personally believe in this situation it would be worth paying the premium on. It's like, for example, the problem with the DQ trade or the perceived issue is not that you move the picks, it's because you move the picks and
you still need the same
DQ. DQ ain't Dylan Harper. You get what I'm saying?
Or like you move the picks and it's like, damn, I still need a center. Like,
right, but not even just that. I'm saying even if you still need a center, if you trade the picks and that player looks like, oh, this guy might be a fucking star, right? Then it's kind of like, it don't matter. It might not be exactly what we thought it would be, but this guy's like, okay, we added this guy might be a great player one day, or this guy, I could see him being like, if you made that deal, and again, you're hoping Derek becomes Sengun, right?
Yeah.
Like if you trade those picks and that player becomes Michael Porter Jr.
Shout out to Louisiana guy.
What we supposed
What's
to
the
do,
deal?
dog? What we
We talk
supposed to do?
about MPJ. We talk about the MPJ news, Louisiana guy.
Listen, if you trade those picks and that player becomes 4 years of Michael Porter Jr., then it's kind of like, all right, I could live with that. So I don't think people paying the cost is necessary. Because again, when you use the food analogy, it was, man, I paid, but it wasn't what I wanted. Yeah,
right.
If
I wasted
paid,
my calories.
yeah, but if like I paid and then it's like, man, fuck. But like, let's say you bought that, right? Let's say you paid and you like, man, I don't really want. You had a little bit. You was like, man, I don't want this shit. But then your girl come home and she'd be like, well, if you can have my food, give me what you want. That's exactly what I want. And you'd be like, oh, let me spin the block on that. I'll take this chance. Then it's kind of like, oh, I salvaged it. This is better than what I had.
I think it's all about, are you willing to give up more assets? And if necessary, what do you consider corrective action? Like, because I don't know that Brooklyn would have any interest in Derek Queen. I suspect that they would, but I don't know that they would. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then with
I think Derek they took a Derek Queen type already to a degree. Like Danny, not Derek Queen and Danny Wolf. Similar, but Danny Wolf was like a big slash, like, bro. And then another thing with them, the situation they're in, they trying to find players to pop, right? Like they're looking for DQ type. Not saying DQ type as in like that type of player, but they drafted 5 rookies.
Yeah,
a season ago.
They just casting a wide net because it ain't like they can recruit superstars neither.
No, it's the same situation OKC was in when they taking all of these draft picks. It's kind of like some of them hit, some of them don't.
Yeah.
If Derek becomes something, right? Not saying that he will or won't, but if he does, if they made that deal and Derek becomes something that's long term for them, you was about to lose MPJ anyway.
Man, you know what would make this like not a discussion whatsoever? And shout out to everybody in the building, man. We got like 70 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button. We sitting at 45 likes. Let's get it up to at least 60 likes. What would make it less of a conversation altogether is if Michael Porter Jr. was an all-star last year. It would have been like, oh yeah, you gotta do it.
You go do it.
I think right now, I still think you go do it. But I think it would be even less of a conversation if it was like, man, that dude all-star, like, because he's only 28 years old. He's 28 years old. He just turned 28 in fucking June, right?
Yeah,
so the timeline is that, and it gives you some trade insurance in the event that you ultimately have to move on from trade.
Also, what, because of how the salary is, what you would have to move to get him, right? Like, you're talking about moving Jordan Poole, right? Because that's the closest match to salary. You're talking about DeJounte because it's the close, and you're talking about Herb, or like all of those players. Like, we can't even mention Sadiq Bey. You almost can't even really mention Trey because there's not really anybody else you could pair with Trey to get to the number properly. You get what I'm saying? Right. It had to, like, so it would be tough to even include a deal with Trey. You're not doing Zion. So like, the players you're talking about are DeJounte, Herb, Poole, Hawkins, DQ, and not saying that they don't, want to keep DQ, but like, if you
gotta give up something good,
you gotta give up something to get
give up
something
that has some value.
Yes,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
especially just especially if like the other players, they'd be like, dog, look, like, no, that shit too much. Like, let's say DeJounte and Herb was too much of a negative for them to deal, like, right? Or they said, you don't want to give me these picks. And they was like, well, give me DeJounte and DQ and you got a deal. Mm-hmm. Like DeJounte, DQ, no picks, or like one swap.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Easy.
It's like,
easy money.
Easy money. Like,
we
talking about
easy money. I think MPJ, based on like conversations I've had, has been like, not MPJ, I'm sorry, for as like their preference would be like wings, more so than bigs.
Yeah.
Like we've seen them connected more so to wings than bigs in the rumor mill. Players that they allegedly had interest in being Zaire Williams, Spencer Jones, probably Kaminga to some degree, even Ben
Well,
Mathurin. Ben Mathurin's a wing. So, I think MPJ checks every box. Off ball player, shoots at a
Yes.
prolific clip, rebounds.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like I
Size,
think
strong,
it pretty much checks
tough.
every single box.
Played
Shout out to Hippie
championship
Nation.
basketball as well. Like, is a champion, played on a championship team, so he knows like the.
Wait, shout out to Hippie Nation. He said, could Caleb Houston fill that MPJ role if he gets the minutes? Absolutely
No.
not. Hippie.
No.
Now look, absolutely
No.
not. Now what Caleb Houston could do is be another shooter on your roster if you
Oh
was
my
able to
God,
consolidate, and you could have, like, in theory, you could have lineups with Trey, MPJ, and Caleb Houston. Now that's a NASCAR no defense lineup, but
Bro,
you could, make it work. But
if you was able to, y'all got me
I don't
ready to
think
talk
Saints
crazy.
here.
So if you was able to do, right, let's say DeJounte and Herb for MPJ, right? You clear up the roster spot.
Mhm.
It allows you to sign Caleb Houston if you like to. You got a roster spot, or Koloko that you like,
Yeah.
or Buffkin that you like. You move Hawkins, and that's another space for one of those players. You already go ahead.
Look, and take into account, shout out to JB, said, hell no, MPJ. He just started back playing last year. We don't need players with bad back. MPJ season before last played 77 games, bro. His last 4 seasons, he played 62, 81, 77, and 52 last year. He was set out with the hamstring. MPJ plays.
MPJ plays, bro.
I think and shit, even if you still
he been playing in the playoffs too. He balls in the playoffs, bro. That's another thing.
MPJ's a real, like, he's a real, like,
he's a real guy.
You hope that kind of trade kind of aspires to be MPJ. Like, that's where you're kind of hoping Trey's next step is. Like, MPJ is a real dude. But I think also there's almost no cons to a deal like that. My only thing is that, of course, it takes 2. I don't know I'm sure the deals would get worse if the Nets enter the season with MPJ.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what the Pelicans' appetite is to do a deal like that. Because at this point, we've heard about interest, and there's a lot of guys still out there, a lot of deals still to be made. Denver hasn't really made any real deals. I just wonder if the Pelicans would have the urgency to get a deal like that done at this juncture. Again, checks every box.
They should.
Fits what I've heard that they would be interested in, but I don't know if they would have the appetite to do it at this point.
I ain't gonna lie. Michael Porter Jr. possibly becoming available, right? Like, if you want to talk about like the appetite for a deal, if you're not open to moving for a player like that, especially if not, the only way I say no is if
they want like
they be like
2 firsts.
Again, if it's like a first and a swap,
if they want 2 real unprotected first, then I'm saying no.
Who they taking? Who would they have to
I wouldn't give a fuck who you take for 2 real unprotected first. I ain't gonna lie, because I think MPJ only worked like 1 first for real.
Mm-hmm.
And if even like,
you rather have DeJounte and Herb?
I'd rather have nobody than DeJounte and Herb. But
that ain't your situation.
Like, what I'm saying is, like, realistically, it's like I would have to. I couldn't give you 2 firsts for MPJ. I couldn't do it because the Pelicans just don't have the bandwidth to do that right now, because you don't have seconds. And right now, I think that'll be a massive overpay. Shit, LaMelo only got 1 first.
I agree with that. For like under those circumstances, I completely agree with you. So like I understand it from you can't, because players not going for that no more.
Yeah, like that's just not the market for MPJ.
Like Jaylen Brown just went for 1 first.
Yeah, and I think the Jaylen Brown deal, to me, I would remove the Jaylen Brown and John Morant deal. Just like I only remove it because something weird happened in both of those situations. Whereas like these are total outliers. But I
Trae
think
Young went for no picks.
yeah, but like even look at someone like Trae Young wasn't playing, but Trae Young went for no picks. Anthony Davis got a bunk deal. LaMelo, like this is a buyer's market.
Bro,
So
they
I
gave
couldn't
away
give you
Julius
two
Randle.
firsts.
Like they just gave away Julius Randle
Yeah,
for nothing.
well, I think
Julius is still a real good player at the end of the day. Like he's not no trash guy.
I think even with Julius Randle's situation, right? Julius, you pretty much traded Julius for LaMelo because you traded Julius to the Nets, took no salary back, created a large cap exception, and then you was able to bring in LaMelo with Naz Reid and that mechanism, and also Julius Randle still under contract for next year. So this upcoming year and the following year. So I guess what matters the most out of all this, like just to compact how we both feel or summarize, is that you should be interested in Michael Porter Jr. That's 100%. Should be
not just interested. You should be like
in pursuit.
Yes, yes.
You should be in hot pursuit.
Yes,
Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, right? Not just we like him. Like no, like
I think if the Nets are willing to move him now, which I think they might think they'll get a better offer during the season, but more than likely they won't. But so if the Nets are willing to move him now, right? Where's the line? Where should you draw the line? Should you draw the line at a single first? Is Herb worth the first? Do you have to pay to move DeJounte? Because these are all things with us not knowing the exact value of Herb or DeJounte, things of that nature. Like, would it be Poole? Would it have to be Poole instead? Because you want to save money going into next year. Like,
I would say if we talking picks, for example, the value of like the protection levels based off the players is kind of what like, for example, if it's like, all right, we'll take DeJounte and Herb, and it's like, all right, I need an unprotected first for that, right? So let's say it's an unprotected first.
Would you trade the Bucks pick like in that scenario? Like, give us this Bucks pick and give us DeJounte.
I wouldn't want to trade the pick for next year. It'd have to be like it'd have to be a pick that people don't think about until that time comes. So for me, if you said if it's a protected pick, then we need a swap. See, that's why I'm like, okay, I don't want to start giving up too much. So it's kind of like if I had to give a future first, that's a very good point. They just kind of gave away Nick Claxton.
But to me, that's what kind of makes me think that they like, we want all the cap space we can get. Like, that's
maybe maybe they just like, look, give me Poole and Hawkins. Give me Poole and Hawkins and a pick, because at that point they could Poole straight up. You could just ride into the sunset.
You would have to give them I think you might have to give them a first and a swap if it's just Poole.
Well, but that's what I'm just saying. So like, I think depending on what it is you're giving up, the value of the pick, like if I got to give up Derek, right, then the number of picks is limited because I'm
not giving you any picks. If
that's what I'm saying. Like if I got to give up Derek, then it's kind of like, all right, Derek and salary, and then don't, like, if it's Derek and Poole, don't talk to me about any picks of any kind. If it's DeJounte and Herb, for example, I think, okay, are we talking about protections or like whatever the scenario may be? Either way, I think you can make a combination of almost any deal, and then people will be okay because he's a true guy. Like at the end of the day, like around the league kind of guy. It's like bro, the Knicks, and again, we're not in the same situation as the Knicks. The Knicks traded 5 firsts for Bridges, bro.
Yeah.
Bane just last year went for 4 of them hoes.
And to me,
Walker Kessler ain't even played and went for 2.
Yeah. That's why, like, to me, the Nets just have so much leverage in this situation compared to the Pelicans. And that's why, like, the more as I'm talking about this and saying certain things out loud, I'm coming to the realization that, yeah, the Pelicans don't have no leverage in this because, like, because if I'm the Nets, I'm like, all right, well, give me 2 first. No, all right, well, tough luck. I'll do something else. Because if you're the Pelicans, it's like you have so many distressed assets, 2 being on somewhat, they're not long-term deals, but multi-year deals, that it's like you got to pay somebody to take them potentially, and you got to pay for what you want. And so if I'm a team I'm looking to maximize cap space, you're not doing me no favor by giving me Jordan Poole. I still want what I want. Like, I'll take Poole and Herb. Thanks. I probably take them both if whatever. If you just giving them to me, cool. But now I still want 2 first. Or I want a totally unprotected first. Like, totally unprotected.
I'd probably do a totally unprotected first if it was Poole and Herb. I mean, if it was DeJounte and Herb, because again,
no, but in this situation, it probably got to be Poole and Herb. I say that because I think if it's DeJounte and Herb, you're talking about multiple picks.
Because there's multiple salary on that deal, unless
both them niggas bunk right now, like,
unless they opted out. So this is the thing, and this is just how I feel about it. Depending on how you view the clean books situation, how much are you willing to pay for somebody to take your trash off? Like, please come. Can you come? How much? Like, that's really what the question is.
Right.
The
how
value,
much does the salary cap mean to you? Like, right?
No, not even. Yes, the salary cap, but it's just kind of like how much. Like, being able to look at your situation that you're in, like, look at your roster and be like, oh, this shit makes, because you consolidate to it, like, all of the things that it would do for you. It's like, man, that shit was expensive, but we in a much better position moving forward to a degree. Ideally, what you do, honestly, what you could do, if it was, let's just say hypothetically, it was, if you could do DeJounte and Herb for no picks, that works, right? Obviously, that works. You do it. Even if it costs you Poole, like if it costs you all your expiring, right? Then it would kind of give you one that would still be the best version of your team, in my opinion. I think it would still be the best. You could roll into your season with, like, if I got DeJounte and fucking Porter Jr. and Murray and Herb and all of that, then it also gives you the flexibility to go during the season and say, well, I have more combinations of stuff that I can move for other pieces. Because if you don't take, because if there's another thing too, if you don't take them now, I might really go try and swing for some bonus. All right, cool. Don't take DeJounte and them now. I might try and turn DeJounte and Herb into some bonus.
Yeah,
I'd be getting
look, honestly, I think they have to be small with their assets, of course. You don't want to be in a position where you're paying to get rid of guys, because ultimately I think that's where you're at as it pertains to DeJounte specifically. Herb maybe not so much, and of course Jordan Hawkins. So, of course, you don't want to be in that situation necessarily, but you also have limited avenues to get better without doing that right now. That's why I say you should have at least just moved one of them dudes. You should have moved one of them. That way you got one less distressed asset. Maybe you got some seconds or whatever the fuck you got to send out in another deal. Like, you should start the process now.
This might be your opportunity. Like, this could be your, I'm just saying, depending on, because we're just speaking hypothetically on what a deal might be. Another thing is, we don't, like, we haven't seen teams take back a lot for deals, right?
Yeah,
like it hadn't
not yet. Yeah,
like realistically, it hasn't taken as much to get deals done as we even projected to a degree, right? Like we have, like, people thought Jaylen Brown deal might be something significant. So like most of the deals that we've seen this summer, and I understand the way people are valuing the picks, because with the way the draft works and all of that, it's a little different. So I understand that. But no, again, LaMelo Ball was damn near an all-star. Did he make the? I don't think he made the all-star.
But he's still a all-star. I think he's a 2-time all-star.
Yes, bro. Yeah. He's arguably one. Like he's arguably one of the.
Cold.
Yeah, he probably like a top 5 point guard in the league when healthy. Right. They traded that guy for Naz Reid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Naz Reid and a pick.
And just to clear their books, pretty much.
The thought is kind of like, if you I just don't think it's going to cost as much as we're projecting. And the only reason is just because the economy of the only person who I think cost way more than people projected was Walker Kessler. And the Lakers were the only team that would have been willing to pay what it cost for Walker Kessler. So maybe we in that situation to a degree with MPJ, but I just think what MPJ would do for our roster would do for Zion, what he would do for Fears, and like whoever else was fucking left behind. Like I just think it will work.
It just bothers me so much, because now I start thinking about, well, boy, if you had them 2 extra lottery picks this year, we would have.
You can do this easy.
Yeah, you would have. My God.
But again, if that was the cost of business, like if it was DQ and the expiring, that's the same picks that you send it.
Yeah, if that's the cost of doing business, then that's the cost of doing business. So because I think at this point we didn't talked about it ad nauseum. Like we didn't spoke about every type of possibility. We didn't talk about every potential scenario. We didn't talk about the roster fit, the basketball fit. We didn't talk about everything, right? And to me, this would be the best shooter Mosley ever had. Shout out to Desmond Bain. But this would be the best offense Mosley ever had.
Oh my no. If he had, I don't give a fuck who the deal was to a degree. Whoever was left would like buy. And then the thing with MPJ is, again, he's played championship level defense.
He's a champion.
Again, that's what I'm saying. He's played championship level defense, so you know he's capable. No, you would go into if they added MPJ. Let's say the deal was Poole and Hurd.
Right.
And they added MPJ. The deal was Poole and Hurd. Where would you have them in the West?
If they added MPJ and the deal was Poole and Hurd, I'll probably have them. I still probably have them 5th or 6th.
But
I wouldn't like have them like way up there. I would say
no, but it would be more comfortable in my opinion.
I would be if you got the best version of Zion, I would say this would be a top 4 seed. But I would have them 5th or 6th. Because still, Zion got to earn my trust. Yes. Everybody else has to earn my trust. But I think they could have a top 5 offense easy.
Yeah. No. Ooh, give me if I got Fears, Z, Trey, MPJ, and Eves with like Carlo, because Carlo shoot, Bryce, Sadiq Bey,
and you got a roster spot.
I got PV still. I could bring up Koloko, Caleb. Dog, you firing.
Look, here's the thing.
Oh my gosh!
Because I'm sure Michael Porter Jr. would be an Amanda Green darling as well. Like, I'm
my
sure.
gosh, yes.
I think the issue is.
I didn't even think about the analytic aspect of it, how much he fits.
Just being real, the issue is this offseason, the Pelicans just don't get deals done. That's what it boils down to. That's why it's so hard for me to even be like, Like it's this is worth discussing because it's a real thing and it should be a
Yes.
possibility. But
Yes.
until you actually get a deal done and the team is ultimately good, you're never going to change the narrative of being a bad front office or like how people perceive them to be like, oh, you can get over on the Pelicans. Cause I'm sure that's what people are trying to do, enjoying going for that shit. But the only way to change that narrative is to be good. The only way to really be good is to add talent. So
Yes.
even in the short term, if it looked like a bit of an overpay or it looked like you might have quote unquote lost a deal, if you win, no one's gonna say that. People are like, oh
Yes.
fuck. That was a shrewd deal. They took a gamble, they pay it off, you know.
Yeah. Also, to the point of not getting nothing done yet, right? I don't think there's been a player available yet that you just felt like
Checks every box.
yeah. I just don't feel like there's been a player yet that I'm like I'm willing to like I had to have. Like who's been a player you just had to have?
Yeah.
I like
That was in
Ben
your
Mathurin
price
too.
range.
Yeah, Peyton Watson. Like not that Peyton, I don't think Peyton Watson is a good player or anything like that, but it's kind of like if
Too many loops to get him.
yeah, and not just too many loops. You don't know what he is. He hadn't played
A lot,
but yeah, you know what I mean? You don't even know what the pedigree is just yet. Jalen Duren, you coming off the bad playoff performance, only 1 year like performing. Zach LaVine is, you know,
yeah. There's always something with Zach.
yeah,
And I like Zach, but there's always something with Zach.
yeah, you just don't know. So I just don't think like the perfect player had been, and not in the only reason I think MPJ is the perfect player is because again, everything that you've been signaling, and shout out to you earlier for the players you've been Zaire, Spencer Jones, Ben Mathurin, like all of the players that you had interest in. This is the super version of all of those players. Like he steps into the building today, he's clearly better than Sadiq Bey, Herb Jones, Bright. Like he's clearly better. So it's also like an obvious upgrade. Joe like winners, and that's the thing about MPJ is you say what you want. The dude was about business in Denver, even when he got to Brooklyn, right? Like until they shut it down, like he was out there fucking balling. Like he wasn't dragging ass on the court. Like he was still doing his thing. So it's just kind of like, man,
I just wish they didn't make them fucking mistakes last offseason. Because to me, that's why every time it's tough for me to even get excited about the prospect of doing a deal like this, because I think it's just the Herb extension was just so bad, right? Like in hindsight, to where like if Herb was on an expiring deal this offseason,
this deal would be easy to make.
It'll be so easy to move. You probably get the first. Like you
this
probably
deal would be easy to make. Yeah.
Right. No, MPJ isn't ball dominant. He's more of an off ball guy. But it'll be so easy to move, bro. Like and that's because you can survive the Queen thing, whether people want to call it the debacle or what debacle, what have you. But the Herb deal is like the
that's
big
the
mistake
issue right now. Yeah,
that's the big mistake. Because
even if I can say I understand it, it's still an issue.
Yeah, even if I can understand it, like because any team that's looking to avoid adding on like long-term salary is not going to want to add on 24 million dollars. Like this is not going to want to do it. Like I would imagine they would. Now maybe you find an exception, right? But I would imagine that they wouldn't. So I guess the hope for the Pelicans is that if they are interested in Michael Porter Jr., if they are interested, is that the Nets see it as an opportunity. All right, we get some more not cost control. We get some more time controlled assets. We pick up a first for our troubles, and we'll just flip Herb for another first, get DeJounte back up and running, flip him for another first. Now we got 3 firsts.
Yep.
Like, so if that's
that would be my plan.
That would be the most glass half full perspective I could have as a Pelicans supporter But ultimately, I don't.
You've seen Brooklyn do that, so that's the only reason why it's like realistic is because you've seen them go that route before.
And I think it's realistic from Brooklyn's perspective. From the Pelicans' perspective, I just haven't seen them get any deals done. So
this year, they was close. If this was last year,
they got too many deals done. now last year, the Nets
would have been like Michael Porter Jr.
The Nets would have got 3 firsts from the Pelicans. Right? The last year they probably would have got 3 firsts from the Pelicans. But this year is like you. If they did this deal, it was a okay deal.
I ain't even saying it's got to be a great deal. If it was an okay deal, I think you won your off season. Like I think you could roll into your season. Like
this would be arguably a top 3, top 4 player move this off season.
Yes, of the players all of the players that would be.
Yeah, Jaylen
Brown is better. LeBron is better. Who else moved that's like definitively better?
Probably. Well, I don't know what's gonna happen with Kawhi.
Kawhi, yeah, we don't know. Yeah, Kawhi. Is BI definitively better?
They just 2 different types of players. I'm gonna say no because BI don't fit on any team.
Yeah. So again, it's kind of like at that point now it's like, okay, LaMelo is better. But LaMelo, shit, you got questions about LaMelo too, to be honest. I think LaMelo is a better player. I'm gonna say Brandon individually is better. I don't know if he's still trending in that direction, but I would say they about even to me, in my opinion. I'm gonna say they're about even. Here, I'm gonna say that because Brandon been all stuff, but they got to get it done. They got to get something done. Let me ask you this. Because I see people mentioning Trey online, people talking about trading Trey. Why? I have my reasons. Why wouldn't you trade Trey?
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, or would you?
I would trade him if the right offer presented itself.
No, I'm talking about Michael Porter Jr. I'm talking about Michael Porter.
Oh, Jr. Nah, I wouldn't do that. That's too lateral of a move to me. Like, and Trey's, even if you thought Michael Porter Jr. was better, right? He's not that much better. He's probably like I don't think he's $14 million better, $10 million better. If you move Trey, I think probably go ahead. $5 million better. I think it's probably like closer to $5 million better. Like if I had Michael Porter Jr. on a $35 million deal, I'm ecstatic, right? Because he rebounds, he does all the things I would ask of him. But I only think he's moderately better than Trey. I don't think he's like head and shoulders better than him. Yeah, I just think Trey's value throughout the league makes trading him for Michael Porter Jr. not realistic, in my opinion. Yeah, like it's a lateral move for the team, or it's like because I think the goal should be to add more shooting. Yeah, add more shooting, like add more talent versus like exchange this talent for that talent. I just don't think that's where you're at, because to me that would be the equivalent of like Harden for Garland, and it's like there's about what and what, but maybe the fit is better with Harden. Yeah, it don't move the needle for you. Whereas opposed to if I got fucking Michael Porter Jr. and Trey, think about you can't even really play defense on Trey the same way that you could play defense on Trey with having Michael Porter Jr. out there. Bro. And then you can't pack the dog. Get this shit. Like, I ain't gonna lie. The only other one I was like, get this shit done. And that one wouldn't even, it was realistic because that player got moved. But Jaylen Brown? No. I wouldn't even that Khalil Ware. Khalil Ware is the other player to me that's one of those obviously make you better, obviously fits your like it's one of those players that just checks the boxes for everything you say that you want. Michael Porter Jr. is the other player right now that checks every box that you say you want, and he's gonna cost. So like you're gonna pay, but
you got to think about it when you traded for Poole, right? Don't talk about what happened now, right? When they traded for Poole, they was intending on keeping Poole long term. If Poole has a great season a year ago, we're not talking about
probably
Poole as an expiring. You're talking about extending him at his number and or
talk about, I need some first for Poole. If
I
I'm
need
gonna
some
trade
first.
Poole, I need to,
Yeah.
you talk like you're just talking significantly different.
Yeah. So it's not like taking on the money realistically should be an issue because you were planning on spending the kind of money anyway. Like the goal was all like you didn't say you was about to rebuild and go into the salary cap situation. I think if you turned I think the only reason the salary cap is an issue is because the players aren't like you don't see the players as good, right? Like if you knew the players were all of a certain caliber or quality, not saying you'd be worrying about flexibility, but you'd be like, all right, well, we're gonna contend, they're good, they're gonna be whatever. But when you 20 something wins, then it's kind of like, fuck, we need some salary relief.
Well, look,
yeah,
man, you put yourself in a bad spot, you got to get yourself out of it. At the end of the day, I think at this stage we're when a person like this becomes available, if he's realistically available,
truly available,
if he's truly available, and they don't want to go into the season with him or no shit like that. Talking about like the Nets, if they're like, we're gonna revisit this and
please don't do no Giannis shit with Michael Porter Jr. though.
I don't know. I just meant like because teams do this all the time. Like Brandon,
yeah,
same thing happened with Brandon, where it was like, all right, we're gonna have to go into the season with him. So I think hopefully they can get something done. I think at this point we've talked about it in circles. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the more every time we circle the block, I feel less enthusiastic about it. Cause I'm like,
do you?
I say that not because of him, just because I've never seen them get
they gonna do shit
like this season. Y'all ain't got no deals done. So
I'm on record of saying I don't think they're gonna get shit done.
Yeah, so if they don't, until you ultimately get a deal done, I can't give you the benefit of the doubt that you're going to get it done. I don't, and look, it's at the point where it's like I can understand every reason why you couldn't get it done. Like if the Nets say he's not available, then it's like, well, fuck, ain't nothing they can do. Or if they try to ask for 2 first, I'm like, don't do that. Like, there's nothing you could do. Totally understand all that. But the fact still remains, nothing got done. So we'll see, man. Shout out to everybody building. We'll take a quick little break and answer a couple of y'all questions and get out of here, man. Yes, I did see Zion
shooting in
doing
mid-range.
The practice shit. Shout out to Chris. That the last time, I don't know the last time we spoke about Zion working out, but that was my last time talking about it.
Yeah.
It's like unless I see Zion, it's just unless he's doing something crazy in the open run against some other players.
Yeah.
Now we about to report the camp. Workout videos is a wrap.
Yeah.
So shout out to everybody in the building, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's listen to what Jake Fisher said again, and let's get the likes up while we listen to Jake Fisher.
I'm not expecting extension for Tyler Hero either, or really Michael Porter Jr. I think of the guys listed below, I'm really only expecting a contract extension for Steph Curry. I'm not expecting there to be any Steph Curry trade sweepstakes like we've been asked about for weeks now, ever since LeBron spurned Golden State and chose Philadelphia.
So he mentioned Tyler Hero in that deal expiring, not getting no deal. We ain't even discussed Tyler Hero at all.
I don't think
like
discussing that, honestly.
I don't think so either. One, I don't think he's up for an extension right now, but I don't think they're looking to trade Tyler right now either.
I mean, Milwaukee, the hometown, that's the home turf, so they probably gonna at least see shit. They don't got their pick, so
So I just think they're fine with whatever happens with Tyler, as opposed to MPJ. MPJ, I think, is gonna force the issue, and to your point, that's why you say Brooklyn could be in the same situation that Milwaukee in. Kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, like especially when you're a place that's projected to get some salary cap relief soon, and you don't you're not a free agent destination necessarily, you probably ain't really tripping too much on certain things. You probably like, well, if he walks, we
Yeah,
would like to get a
so
first for him, but if we can't, it's like, like we could still do a
yeah,
sign and trade potentially to give
yeah.
you, I think, to give you his bird rights, to help with some
Mm,
of those situations. Because that's another thing with Brooklyn. Like if Brooklyn did want to kick it into the offseason, to next
mm-hmm.
offseason, they could say, well, we'll have his bird rights, so we could probably sign and trade him
Oh my
if
God.
to
No,
help
it'd
an
be
opposing team
disgusting
out.
if they didn't do the deal, but then they signed and traded him for somebody that you could have did the deal for this year.
Oh, yeah, for
And just
somebody bump, like if they like, would give me an example?
meaning like if I don't know, let's say you was getting ready to sign and trade MPJ to the like pool falls off, you gotta do it, but like you ended up having to send Herb anyway, or you have to send
Man, and
DeJounte
you could have did it
anyway.
for a good. You could have did it while it had an opportunity to be good. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be a little frustrating.
Like, come on,
Shout
bro.
out to Dakari. He said, "How do y'all view Joe Dumars' track record on making trades? Is he good, bad, or okay in your opinion?" I think he's okay.
I think they took a lot of heat early for the your boy that they drafted at the time,
Uh,
way back.
oh yeah,
Uh that they took
Blinko.
over. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I think he took a lot of heat for that. But Joe had historically like
What?
the
What?
early
What?
years,
Yeah.
those deals worked out. Like Rashid and Chauncey and all of them, like that shit all worked out, and you ended up winning. Winning. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So
I think most of the questions probably came in free agency. You
yeah.
talk about like the Ben Gordons, you talk about Josh
Mm-hmm.
Smith, talk about Charlie Villanueva. But I think far as like the trades, like bringing in Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey
Mm-hmm.
Billups, uh I think they drafted Ben Wallace, but bringing in Rip Hamilton, I think they drafted
Yeah,
Tayshaun Prince.
yeah.
Some of those, and it's probably names I'm not even remembering. Then you got guys like Will Bynum. Like they was able to acquire a lot of talent and really do some great things. They won a championship, went to multiple finals, went to multiple Eastern Conference finals. But
Yeah.
in the NBA,
What?
it's the what have you done for me lately era. Now, in
Yeah.
comparison to Troy Weaver and his trade history, I don't think
Mm-hmm.
he has that rich of a trade history.
Yeah.
But if I'm not mistaken, he was in Detroit. If I'm not mistaken, when they got SGA, unless I'm wrong about that. I know Amanda was that. I'm
In
in
OKC.
OKC. I think they.
Mm-hmm.
I think they was there when they
He
got SGA. He was
he
there when they
was.
got Westbrook, Harden,
Mm-hmm.
KD, and because KD wasn't the number one pick, so like
Mm-hmm.
KD wasn't like a consensus number one. So KD, Ibaka, like he was there when they did all these cool ass things. But to think about the old days,
In
them
the old
old
days.
days, you gotta do it again. You gotta do it again,
Yeah.
Troy. What's up?
Yeah, bro.
Shout out to Leo Alvarado. He said, "Have y'all seen that Korean dude, the Pels guy on the minicamp deal?" No, I haven't.
Who is
You
that?
guys seen that?
I don't know who that is. I don't know.
Let me
Korean dude.
look this up real quick.
I know you're talking about Caleb Houston.
Caleb Houston, Korean. I thought he was
That's
regular
what
black.
that's what I'm saying.
Um, I don't see that. Anybody got his name?
I don't know. I haven't seen that either.
Oh, it said they working out South Korean point Japanese. Well, he's Japanese. Wait, what the fuck? So Yahoo Sports, the headline is working out a South Korean player, but it says Japanese point guard Yuki Kawamura signed an Exhibit 10 contract with the Clippers after the play. Wait, I don't. Wait a minute. This is getting weird. So see the Pelicans are holding their mini camp right now. This is Sunday, August 9th. The Pelicans are holding their mini camp right now. Continue to host players for workouts as they decide what to do with their final roster spot and a two-way spot. They have already handed out some training camp contracts and could bring in more bodies. This is from Dylan Sanders. Shout out to Dylan. Saying one player they have reportedly brought in for minicamp is South Korean basketball star Hwang Lee. He is a wing who can shoot, which immediately makes him of interest to the Pelicans. South Korean journalist Sung Jin Hwak reported that both the Boston Celtics and the New Orleans Pelicans will have Lee in camp in August. Lee's most recent action came with the San Antonio Spurs in Summer League. That stint showed that there's some NBA potential in this game, but he still needs to develop clearly. Over 5 games, he put up 9.2 points, 3.6 rebounds per game on 35, 33, and 82 shooting splits. That ain't really no great 3-point shooting there. Say the free throw rate is say Lee shot in college, he shot 39.7% on 5.2 attempts. So man.
Shout out to him, but I hope it work out for him.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's one of the deals that really flew below the radar. He's 25 years old, 6'7".
Oh, good size.
Played some time. Looked like he spent some time at Davidson.
Okay.
Yeah, like he spent some time at Davidson. So this could be the next Steph.
Maybe.
The next fucking Steph.
Hey, we ain't got no roster spots anyway.
Shout out to Jess. Yeah, we don't got no roster spots.
Ben Simmons available for the last roster spot.
Yeah, shout out to Ben. So man, somebody give Ben
trade for MPJ and bring Ben Simmons in, man. We lit.
Somebody said I bet you weigh 136 pounds. Let me see. Nope.
Not at 6'7".
Well, 209.
200. About to say, got to be at least 200.
209. That's a shout out, man. L, tell the people they can find you at, bro. Did you have any other thoughts?
Get this shit done. This is the one. This is like, unless you go and get Khalil Ware, which we know that ain't happening. This is the one, or at least kick the ties where they can say, hey, teams have had interest in calling on Michael Porter Jr.
Shit ain't work out.
Like at least get turned down. That's where I'm at with this one. Like again, it takes two to tango. I think this is the player that I think could solve a lot of the issues that we've had. Mm-hmm. People keep talking about like Turner, for example. Turner don't fix your issues.
That one, bro.
But like people love Miles Turner. Mm-hmm. That don't fix your issues. Depending on what you move, Michael Porter. I'll say this. Michael Porter Jr., as long as it's not trade pretty much, like if you keep Trey Z and Fizz, Michael Porter Jr., as long as you ain't giving up a shit ton of picks, fixes your issues. Like every other issue, he fixes them. So I'm kind of like, or he helps, he assists with fixing them.
I almost feel like if they haven't sniffed around this situation already, I almost feel like we might have heard about it already because, I mean, that's the word has been that he want to be extended and they're not going to extend him this whole time. So
I think it just came out. I think it's just came out because initially, from what I remember, when the summer started, he was trying to get them to get Peyton Watson, right? So like he was pushing for Peyton Watson to get that while he was trying to work on his extension. I think this is the first time that anybody has come out publicly and been like, yeah, no, you're not like, and he just said, I don't expect him to get the extension.
Yeah, it wasn't like necessarily.
Trust Jake Fisher?
It wasn't like definitive. What'd you say?
Yeah, you trust Jake Fisher?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think at this stage, it's like everyone's word is just as good as anyone else's. Like at this stage, we all kind of, cause there's shit on here that I don't say that I'm like, no, somebody told me this, right? And like, so Michael Porter, he just turned 28. Dakari, he just turned 28. Okay. That's my main issue with Miles is that he don't rebound. Miles, big motherfucker don't rebound. Well, Al, tell the people they can find you, bro.
As always, man, y'all catch me at Pels in the Blender on YouTube, dog, or just say Davis on X, man. Appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe. If you haven't become a member. Well, I don't know if you can accept members right now. Well, you can become a member of this channel and also subscribe and become a member of Pels in the Blender.
Shout out to Ryan. My deal would be 3 years, maybe like 126 is probably the highest I go. 126. Anywhere
in that range is ideal. 120 to 126. Yeah, I could see that.
I ain't going past 40 the first year. For my ceiling first year 40. 38 to 40 first year. I ain't going 44 to. And only way I do that though is if it was like declining, like 42, 40, 38, something along those lines. But other than that, can't do it.
No, you would have him for this year 40, next year 40, another so you'd have him for like 4 years. That's perfect.
You know what and I'll say this in closing. I shouldn't feel like, and I fucks with Michael Porter Jr., right?
Mm-hmm.
But to me, Michael Porter Jr., he's not like prime Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't feel like Michael Porter Jr. is this far out of range. Like in my mind, because in my mind, the way
Yes.
like the offseason is going, I'm like, well, fuck, why stop there? Let's call see what Therese Maxey want. And it's like, I shouldn't feel like that
Not for Michael Porter Jr.
about like a Michael Porter Jr. player. Like, I shouldn't feel like that. So let's get this done, man. Y'all know to find me at Cheddar Chaz on all social media. Tap in. Make sure y'all follow the new channel as well. Cheddar Chaz, number 9, CHEDDACHAZ, the number 9. And if I hear anything, we'll be back to talk about it. But I would say, don't hold your breath because you will die. But so I'm out. Peace.
Like I had the lotto. I'm coming through like 100 doing this 1 or 2s. You don't know if the smoke from the gun I told, from the blunt I blew. Got them sick as the flu. But this she be humming too. Got your chicken in here and she think it's the tension in here when the enemy near. What the you wanna do? I'm a G.